So before we talk about cellular respiration, we need to look at something called electron carriers. So in cellular respiration, we know that that process is both an oxidation and a reduction. So that means there's some molecule that's going to get rid of electrons, and then another molecule has to take them. Okay? So this process has several steps to it. And during those steps, we're going to be oxidizing things, oxidizing glucose, and getting electrons. So we have these things called electron carriers that hold on to those electrons for a bit until we can use them. Okay? So this is where vitamins come in. When you're eating food, you're eating carbohydrates, proteins, fats. Those are macromolecules. But we're also consuming micromolecules. And micromolecules are things like vitamins and minerals. So this is where vitamins come into play in how the body functions. And they are very important. So the first molecule is called NAD. And that is called nicotinamide. Nicotinamide. Adenine. Dinucleotide. Nucleotide. That's a mouthful. And that comes from the B vitamin niacin. Niacin, sorry. The other one is called FAD, and that is flavin, adenine, dinucleotide. And that comes from riboflavin. And these are both B vitamins. So these two molecules are responsible for accepting high energy electrons. They carry them, they hold on to them through the process and carry them to something called the electron transport chain. And that's where they are actually used to make ATP. So the NAD is a molecule, and looks like this, NAD+. And it has room on it to take on electrons. So it can take on 2 electrons and a proton, a hydrogen ion. Okay, when it does that, it becomes NADH. So it becomes NADH, and it's holding on to those electrons. Okay, FAD. So FAD. It can accept 2 electrons and 2 protons, or 2 hydrogen ions. So it becomes FADH2, and then it's holding on to those electrons. So these 2 molecules, NAD and FAD, have been reduced. So during this pathway of cellular respiration, where we're oxidizing glucose, over those pathways, we are breaking the bonds the carbon bonds of glucose, and we're ending up with these high energy electrons. And those high energy electrons are held by these two molecules, these little electron carriers. And they're very important because they will be able to, it's like money. They're like holding on to this glucose money, and we're going to trade that in and get some ATP for it. Okay, so keep that in mind as we go through the pathways. We're going to see these two molecules come up.